Hello, hello. Welcome back to my space. I hope you are doing well. So, as you can see, the reading is open, right? I will be blunt with you. I started the reading those cards. I had one story line coming to me, and then when I started to open the cards, the story that came to me totally different, right? So instead of having you go through what I felt here in the beginning to have a totally different story coming down, I decided to start anew, right? So you immediately get what is going on here, right? So listen, we are starting here with two aces, which is kind of positive, right? So the main subject that we have here, it is the Ace of Pentacles, some kind of opportunity, some kind of manifestation. And then in the place of other people, your connection to other people, partnership, relationship, connections, right? We have the Ace of Wands, right? So, what is going on here? It is that there was something that came into your life. Kind of feel that we are talking about a situation that happened in the past, right? That might have been a beautiful opportunity. It might even have looked like a manifestation, something that maybe in the past you wished for, and then maybe you forgot about it, right? And then something presented itself in your life, and you said, interesting. This might be what I wished for in the past and that I just let go, right? Because kind of felt maybe, that it might not happen, or I don't know, something like that, right? So you saw this thing, right? And you wanted to embrace it, right? And then what you might have realized, in fact, I kind of feel that we might be talking here about a romantic connection. Doesn't have to be, but I kind of feel here something very phallic. You see here what I mean? Something very schmexual, desire, passion, right? So as said, we might be talking about a romantic relationship. We might be talking also about something else. You apply it however it applies to you. But what I feel that you might have realized, which was painful, it was a cutting truth coming your way, and it kind of slapped you in the face. It is that this person was not your manifestation, right? Whatever came to me, it was not your manifestation. It was like a fire, So if we are talking about a romantic relationship, it was not a romantic relationship, it was somebody who wanted you in their bed, right? If we are talking about some other kind of connection, for example, work, so it was somebody who wanted to use you in some kind of way, right? There was not the deepness and the stability that you were manifesting for your life, right? So there was this cutting truth coming to you. You might have felt confused, right? Maybe suddenly you realize that you were just an option, right? I truly feel here the element of you being in a stage of your life, being in love, in connections, in work, in whatever it may be, where you are all about stability, right? And here suddenly there is no stability. So with the Seven of Cups that we have here, we might be talking about you feeling that you are an option, right? Or you being confused, realizing that in fact what you saw as maybe some kind of manifestation was at the end of the day just something smaller than that, right? The turning point came when you realized that in fact you were dealing here with somebody who's a manipulator, right? Whatever they said to you, it was all in order to charm you, to accept this opportunity right? But it kind of feels that we are talking here about someone who's more about themselves. It was serving them, so they would say whatever they needed in order to serve them and their needs and their desires. There was nothing there. It was somebody that you realize that you cannot trust, somebody very selfish, right? So you might have felt a switch of energy once they felt that you were excited about whatever this opportunity, this pentacle was. They switched, right? I'm thinking about relationships, for example, with narcissists, right? They will present themselves a certain way until they know that you are trapped. So, or you are pregnant, for example, or you are married, right? Or you moved in together. There is something there that they feel that you are trapped, or you moved towards them and you are isolated, and then it's the moment that they reveal themselves. So even if we are talking here about business, for example, right? So they waited for you to totally be disconnected from other options that you had, work related, right? Maybe if you had some kind of good connections, other good connection, they have manipulated you in some kind of way for you to burn those connections. And once they felt that you were trapped, right? This is when they revealed themselves, right? And on the bottom of the deck, we have here the Six of Pentacles in reverse. There is no equal give and take. We are talking here about someone who, when they are giving something, it is in order to receive something in exchange, right? We are talking about conditional connections, which at the end of the day, if we are talking about business, it's okay, it is supposed to be conditional, right? But here there is this element of this person wanting you to be in the energy of begging them, of feeling like you should feel grateful, right? That they even want to deal with you. There is this kind of, I'm better than you, right? So this is the underlying energy. So I open the cards related to the Ace of Pentacles. First of all, as I'm not shuffling in front of you, just a reminder, this is a collective reading, right? So it's a group reading. It might be for you, it might be partly for you, and it might not be for you. So please take what resonates, leave the rest. Don't take on yourself a story that is not yours. If I am talking about masculines or feminines, I'm not talking about the gender, right? We are talking about the energy, so apply it however it applies, and this reading can be past, present, or future. So, when I opened the cards in order to get a little bit more information about this Ace of Earth, this Ace of Pentacles, this opportunity coming your way, maybe what you thought to be a manifestation, I kind of feel that, I don't know why I feel it, right? But I feel that it is kind of a manifestation that, something that you hoped some time ago, you forgot about it, you didn't expect it anymore, right? So if you are talking about love, maybe you said, I'm not interested in relationship anymore, this is not my priority, I'm just doing my thing, and then suddenly somebody is presenting themselves and it seems like they are everything that you wished for, right? There are many things there that you are saying to yourself, wow, you know what? This might be my manifestation because there is this, that it's perfect, like, right? You understand what I mean? But this person might be also love bombing you, right? This feels like love bombing. If it's about work, maybe you already decided that you are going another way, and then suddenly, because you tried before, something didn't work, and you said, you know what, I will move on from that, right? And it comes back into your life in some kind of way, right? So, with this Ace of Earth, what came out, it is the Ace of Wands in reverse, right? So it kind of feels that this is blocked energy, right? This is blocked energy. Then we have the Ten of Wands, burden, right? So I truly feel here that what happened, it is that whatever you thought was this beautiful opportunity coming your way, kind of feel that you might have felt that it was blocking you in some kind of way, right? It was blocking you. It was very burdensome. With the Ten of Wands here, we are talking about you carrying burdens that you are not supposed to carry. Like, it's not your burdens, right? And so there is here the word, you putting an ending to whatever this is. You deciding to move on from that, right? Then we have the Nine of Wands here in reverse. So let me check what's going on here. Let's also see that here in all the cards that we have, we don't have even one major arcana, right? So we are talking here truly about a life situation, something that was very in a certain time frame, right? Okay. Tell me here, the Nine of Wands in reverse. What should we know about this Nine of Wands in reverse? The Devil in reverse. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Yeah, listen, this person has exhausted you, right? So you might have been in this energy of wanting to fight for whatever it was, but you got to a place where you surrendered, right? You said, you know what, it's not worth it. It's not worth it because maybe because you realized that you were dealing here with somebody who was dishonest, right? They might have been extremely critical and judgmental, you know? So in the beginning, they might have approached you and make you feel like you are amazing, a lot of compliments, making you maybe even flattering your ego, right? Making you, yeah, a lot of compliments, making you feel that you are absolutely amazing. You know, the cult leaders, this is what they are doing, right? You are amazing. I can't believe that you are stuck there, that you don't have that. How is it even possible? I feel so lucky. This was destined. This was supposed to happen this way. This is why it never happened before, because this is fated, right? You are amazing. I can't believe how lucky I am. And then once you are going into it, right? Them promising amazing things, suddenly they are starting to criticize you, right? Okay. So yeah, it truly feels here that you understood that this was not the fated manifestation, right? That you were expecting. You understood here that you needed to protect yourself because this person might have tried to keep you trapped in some kind of way. Okay. So let's see here what we are getting for this Ace of Fire, the Ace of Wands. Tell me. The Ace of Wands, please. The Six of Cups in reverse. The Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So interesting. And the Seven of Wands. Yeah, listen. No good memory. Whatever I'm talking to you about, it's not something that you regret. You have no good memory. We have the Ace of Pentacles. So interesting, right? Because when I'm checking the Ace of Pentacles, what is coming out, it is the Ace of Wands. When I'm checking the Ace of Wands, what is coming out, it is the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, right? Both of them are in reverse. You see that, right? You see that. Both of them are in reverse. So whatever was presented to you, right? It was all bullshit. It was all illusions and delusions, right? Going back here to this card, talking about illusions and delusions, confusion, right? The liar, the truth coming out, the cutting truth coming out, right? So yeah, you realized here that there was no opportunity. There was no way it was not your manifestation. It was not what you hoped for, right? I was hesitating to say hope for because I felt like it was not even something that you hope for. It was something that you already put to the side, and it's kind of you change your plans even, maybe thinking that maybe it was something fatal, right? Kind of feel this way here. The Seven of Wands. Yeah, you needed to defend yourself, to protect yourself. I truly feel here somebody, we might even be talking here about someone that saw your potential. And if we are talking about business, for example, right? So we might be talking about someone who is in the same niche as you. And so they propose to you some kind of work, but it is not in order to work with you, it is in order to block you. It is in order for you not to be able to surpass you. Understood? If we are talking, for example, about a family, which it might totally be the case, or a friend, right? So we might be talking about the same thing, like sending you in one direction, knowing that it is something that you desired in the past, but it is just in order to take you out of your direction, right? Okay. So yeah, you felt the need here to truly protect yourself because you realize that it was not what it was mirrored to be, right? They presented you something and it was something totally different. Okay, let's see here. Is there something else that you want me to talk about with this Ace of Wands? Yeah, you see, there is here some kind. I truly feel here somebody trying to block you. What I wanted to say, for example, right? If we are talking about a friend or family member, they know that there is something amazing coming your way, right? Someone that can truly change the game for you in your life in some kind of way, right? They are presenting you someone else, right? You want to do something, right? Like, I will give you an example with me, right? They know that I want to start to do tarot. They know that I can be amazing doing that. They don't want me to do it for some kind of reasons, right? It might be because they are embarrassed. It might be because they are afraid that people will see me for who I am, and so they are afraid that it will reveal them for who they are. No matter the reason, they don't want me to do it, right? Then suddenly they will present me with some kind of offer, maybe something related to something that I left behind, right? In order to trap me. There is this element here, I see the devil in front of me, right? We saw it here, the devil in reverse. And there was the devil in reverse and the wheel of fortune in reverse. This is truly trying to block you from your destiny, your fate, right? So here with the Eight of Pentacles, we have truly this idea coming to light because you have mastered something. We might be talking about your healing, being ready for the real good relationship, right? And so they don't want you to have the healthy relationship because they are dysfunctional and they want to keep you stuck. And they are afraid that if you really receive the love that you deserve, then by contrast, right? Maybe seeing another family that is so loving and so caring, by contrast, you will see who they are, right? If we are talking about work, I told you why they might not want it, right? Okay. So let's see here. The Knight of Swords, the cutting truth coming in. This is very quick energy. Okay. We have the Hangman here. Yeah, the cutting truth, whatever it was. I kind of feel that it is realizing that you were dealing here with manipulators, right? Yeah, it immediately made you see things in a very, very different light. Something happened, maybe, that suddenly it was obvious to you. It might be that your intuition was speaking to you, and at a certain moment you had kind of a, you know, the pieces of the puzzle, right, were just too obvious to ignore. You might have been inspired by some kind of way, you know, hearing somebody talk about a situation and suddenly it gave you a very clear image of who you were dealing with. Seeing something online might be something like that, you know, maybe in your dreams. We have the Four of Swords here, and we have the Page of Swords. Yes, there is something here that made you truly take a step back, right? Take a step back. I feel a lot of energy of exhaustion here, right? Yeah, because you need to defend yourself, right? So the Four of Swords, yeah, it brought you some kind of clarity. Whatever happened here, this cutting truth, this quick truth, it might be something that you might have ignored, but you didn't, right? You didn't. Yeah. The Page of Swords. The truth, right? Seeing something. Something awakening your curiosity, maybe for you to go and search further, to step back and put all the dots together, and suddenly seeing the pattern, the psychological profile, seeing the red flags for what they are, right? Yeah, there's a lot of truth here, right? We have the Page of Swords and then we have the Knight of Swords. So it kind of feels that there was some kind of you were already like thinking that maybe things are not the way that they are supposed to be, right? That there is something here that doesn't align with your manifestation. And let me remind you, because I also feel that it's not that you were still waiting for this manifestation. I kind of feel that for you, because you were already in some kind of path that was satisfying to you, that you were already happy. So it's not that you were desperate for that, right? I kind of truly feel that you accepted this manifestation not out of thirst, not out of lack of happiness, not out of desperation. So, obviously, because you were not in that energy, you were in an energy where you were in balance, you were happy, so you wouldn't do any sacrifice for that, right? This might have been the mistake of whoever. But at the end of the day, they have succeeded to make you lose some kind of time, I feel. But that's it, right? And I don't really believe that there is losing time, because I kind of feel that if we are just looking at time, then anyway, the concept of time doesn't make any sense, in the sense that we don't know how much time we have, right? So for some things, the time is important. And here, yes, they made you lose your time, but I kind of feel that in another, if we are looking at it from a different perspective, you might have gained something else, right? Maybe awakening about some people, right? Maybe experience, maybe trusting your intuition more, right? Okay, let's see here what we are getting for this Seven of Cups. The Knight of Wands, the Queen of Cups in reverse, the Three of Cups in reverse. Yes, so here now what I'm seeing in this card, it is your options. You had many options, right? Because this thing that was presented to you reminded you of some kind of manifestation. So you said, why not? Right? Why not? But you had many, many options. This is, we have the Knight of Wands here. This is talking about moving forward courageously. This is exactly what I'm telling you. You wouldn't lose time here because you have other options, because you were already happy before. You know? The Queen of Cups in reverse. Yeah, emotional instability. Somebody who is needy, right? Overbearing. Yeah, I kind of feel that I feel that you couldn't breathe there, right? There was something here that you felt compressed. You know, like somebody trying to, like I feel that you had your total life path open in front of you, and you could breathe, and you were free, and you could do whatever you wanted, and then this beautiful opportunity presents itself, and then you say, yes, maybe this is the manifestation that I left behind, maybe it's the universe telling me, no, go for it, you know? But it might have been a test, right? And it doesn't mean that you failed the test. You didn't, because at the end of the day, when you saw that it was not what it was supposed to be, when you felt that it was overbearing, right? You move forward courageously. So it might just have been something to illuminate you, right? The Three of Cups in reverse, yeah. Not working with them, because they are not working with you. They are working for themselves. And we might be talking about work, we might be talking about a relationship, we might be talking about family and friends, right? You apply it however it applies. But you have many other options. So it was a detour, in fact, right? But if you are thinking to yourself, I'm stupid, I never had to do that, just consider the reason why you did it. And maybe you did it because you said, if I don't try it, I might never know, right? And knowing is important, right? Closing doors, it's important. I know that seeing from the outside, right? In some kind of relationship or connections, people might say, or even I might say about myself, why did I stay so long? I know why I stayed so long. Because I don't want to live with any regret in my life. I don't want to look behind. I don't want that. I don't want that. So I will stay until I am 100% sure that it is not for me. And we are talking about work, and we are talking about relationship, and we are talking about friendship. We are talking about all of it, right? Because I understand the value of being able to totally close a door, right? And so maybe this is the reason that you had to take it, because otherwise there would have been this question in your mind all the time, right? And maybe you knew that if this doesn't work out the way that you might have thought, you have so many other options, right? Okay, let's see here. The King of Swords in reverse, right? Let's see, this is in the change, the moment that you realized, right, that this person was dishonest. Yeah, the Sun in reverse. The Four of Wands. Okay, I will check this Four of Wands. Kind of feel that they were building their own stability, being very, very unfair, no justice. The Sun in reverse, right? Yeah, this person was hiding a lot. They were hiding a lot. Let's see here the Four of Wands, if I'm getting a little bit more information. Because I kind of feel here the person being very, very selfish. It's all about them, their own stability, their own celebration. Tell me here. The Four of Wands, please. come back to me. We have the King of Wands here. It came in the upright. Bottom of the deck, I see the Three of Cups in reverse. The Page of Swords. It feels to me here, right, that this person wanted to attack your stability. They didn't want people to see you stable. This is what I'm telling you about you being in your direction, being happy, being in a good place. Kind of feel that this is what they wanted to hide. We have the Sun in reverse here. They didn't want people to see this stability inside of you. Yeah, so if we're talking about work, for example, right? They didn't want somebody valuable coming to you and offering to work with you, right? If we are talking about a dysfunctional family system, right? That has always said about you that you are too sensitive, you are mentally unstable, trying to convince you, right, that you are the problem, obviously, but also other people, right? They were afraid that your stability would be seen, right? Because they have been unfair in the past. Okay, tell me more here, please, about this King of Swords in reverse. The Hangman in reverse. Yeah, they wanted to keep you stuck. It's not the right deck, but they wanted you to be stuck, right? This is what they wanted. They didn't want you to get what you should get. They didn't want... I kind of feel that you were truly here in your direction. That's it. You maybe you were healing, you finished healing, you were at a good place, right? And this is when the warlocks, the karmics are coming in order to try to snap you. It happened over and over and over again. It's always like this. When you are weak, they don't care, right? Because you are not a threat. They are coming in the moment that you are in your strength. This is when they are trying to take you out of your direction. This is what I feel here. Something else here, the King of Swords in reverse. Yeah, you see? Look what came out. This is the card, right? But this was behind. Strength, control. The moment that you were in total control. Right? Healing, purity, healing the inner child, being passionate, moving forward with your heart in the right space. Right? This is healed. This is totally healed with the Page of Cups here, talking about this healed inner child, the purity and strength, being in the balance of those two energies. It's like you healed your inner child. This is exactly when they came in. Yeah, because they didn't want you to get what you are supposed to get. They didn't want to see that. They didn't want to see you being stable. They didn't want you to see you being celebrated. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to closure here. Let's go to closure. You know, it's truly, you were on the mountain, right? You already did the very stiff, heading up the very difficult part, right? Now it was a comfortable slope, right? After needing to climb the very difficult climb, now you were exactly at the time of, the comfortable climb. It was just a flow now, right? This is when this happened to you. This is when this person, those people, came in order to take you back down, to try to put you back down. The thing is that they couldn't take you back down. So they could have slowed you in some kind of way, obviously, right? But they couldn't take you back down, because even if they would have succeeded to, you already knew how to get up, right? You already did that in the past, and maybe more than once. So you already know how to do that. This difficult climb that they never succeeded to climb, right? Because if they would have succeeded to climb, they would also be in this comfortable place, right? So why would they even bother? They would put their efforts in climbing, right? But they don't want to do the climb. They want to stay there. But they saw you being there and heading towards comfort, an open space with many possibilities, right? The crab in the bucket, the crab in the bucket, right? So let's see here, closure. What's the closure here? Beautiful. The Queen of Wands, listen. There is no way they cannot win. You might be a masculine in the Queen of Wands energy, right? Independence. Look at the cat here. Look. See the cat? Total independence. Intelligence, brightness, magnetism. Individuality, free thinker, courageous. Yeah, listen. Anything else here? Yeah, they are in a very, very cold place because, look, Temperance in reverse. They didn't succeed to do what they wanted to do, right? Yeah, we are talking here about karmic feminines, right? Yeah, but you saw it. There is here something that you saw. You saw, or you might have been guided, right? Yeah, they thought that they were very, very sneaky, right? And they would keep you stuck. This is what they thought, right? No, you are still heading towards your 10 of Pentacles. Because your direction was already designed. You were already healed or healing, right? You already had your direction. You know, it's like you already know what you will tolerate and what you won't tolerate. You already know, right? Let's say that you have already been in a relationship with somebody controlling, right? And you healed, right? So today, you know that you see the slightest sign of somebody being controlling, you are not there, right? You don't make excuses for them anymore. You are not patient. You are not expecting some kind of change. No. Now you know. You see the sign of control. You immediately put it to the side. You know what you will tolerate and what you won't. You have already accepted that this kind of relationship, it's a no. That you prefer not to be in any relationship, that you are totally happy not being in a relationship, but this will not happen to you anymore. You already know that, right? And so they thought, right, that you didn't know that. But because you totally know, you know where you are heading, you know. So you see some kind of confusion here? People trying to block you? No. You are already healed. You know your direction. Nobody will make you doubt of yourself. Are you fucking kidding me? The Queen of Swords, and we had the Queen of Wands here. You see the truth. You see. You are heading towards your wish fulfillment. If it doesn't, if it is not your wish fulfillment, it is a no. It is a no. Right? So this is where they failed. They thought that you were desperate in some kind of way. You were not. You were not. Right? The moment that you were seeing that those people were not acting the way that they should act from their higher self, making bad decisions, trying to keep you stuck, right? You saw. You were not confused anymore, right? Your comfort above all. You are the leader of your life. You know exactly what you will tolerate and what you won't. You are very, very clear-minded, right? And this is why the moment that you realize that what was going on there, you are out. You will not be miserable for anyone. Yeah, we have the controlling energy here. Yeah, competing with you. You saw that you were dealing here with whoever we are talking about, somebody who was trying to dominate you, to control you, right? This is a tyrant. Only creating issues in your life, competing with you. The Five of Wands, competing with you, right? Yeah, they were just bringing noise into your life. This is all it was. So you let go. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Yeah, arrogant. They were arrogant. You understand that it's not your wish fulfillment? So you're not even fighting. You're not even fighting. You know who you will partner with and who not. And if it is not in alignment with your direction, you are not investing there. Yeah, it's your stability, you understand? They never saw your stability. They thought that they could smooth talk you in some kind of way. They thought that maybe you were desperate for a relationship, that maybe you were not in alignment with yourself, right? Maybe this is who you were in the past. And it doesn't mean that you were desperate for a relationship. It might just have been that you didn't know what you want to tolerate, what you don't want to tolerate. Maybe you didn't recognize the signs, you know. When we don't go through it, it's difficult to know. With age, what's the beauty of age? It is that we know ourselves and we have experience. We recognize the sign. We know where we want to go. We know where we don't want to go. We know, right? Because we know who we are and we have experience, right? We are not doubting ourselves so much anymore. This is the beauty of experience, right? So anyway, listen, I will leave it here. I hope that it was helpful, inspiring, maybe healing, if not at least entertaining, right? Sending you a lot of love, a lot of good vibes. What I see here, it's beautiful. If you are in the middle of it and you cross this reading, the reason might be simply to tell you, trust your intuition. I remind you that you were happy before, whatever this is, right? Remember that you were happy before, right? So you don't need that, right? It doesn't make you happy. You have one life, right, that you are living now. You were already on your path. So if it's not what it's supposed to be, please leave it behind, right? Because we refuse those kind of energies. We refuse people who make you feel this way, right? We refuse. Nobody is superior to you. What we need, it is people working with us and not just pretending, right? Truly working with us. Not, you know, you need to beg me, I'm superior here. You have to get down on your knees. We are not doing that, right? Okay, this being said, wishing you a beautiful day, afternoon, evening, whenever you are watching this, and I'll see you in the comments. Bye.